Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you so much for doing this. I can't even imagine what you're going through. So every minute helps. The number one thing I'm hearing from my followers is they want to hear from you guys directly. So thank you for me and all of my followers.
Oh,
Let's just
thank
get
you.
right into it. What is going on? What is happening with this funding freeze? What's happening? Please.
That's so important question. And I think we're all railing and trying to grasp the answer to that question. You asked me when I got on how I was doing. I'm like, we all feel like the world as we know it is just in chaos.
Yes.
And as we all know, so the president, like a week and a few days ago, put out this order to freeze all federal funding. To him, it was words in his brain. But to everybody out there who counts on opening up a portal and getting the pay for their Head Start program or their community health center or their veterans benefit, or I mean, across the board, just all of a sudden went, oh my God, how do I keep my facility open? How do I pay people? How do I make sure that life is functioning for all these people that are counting on me? And it was frozen. So thank God people everywhere spoke up loudly and angrily. And within a few days, they reversed that order. That's good. But I'm going to tell you, there is still chaos out there. I have spent so many hours on the phone with people who are calling me and saying, I know he reversed this thing, but I just tried to get in this portal, which I have counted on forever to be able to pay my employees by Friday, and I can't get in. What do I do? And that means this has not been turned back on. And by the way, you don't just turn something off and turn it back on when you're dealing with all of this complex organization that we call our country. So it
Correct.
has been chaotic. It has been awful. The heartfelt stories that I'm hearing about people who are really, really concerned continues to this minute. So, I mean, the real question, Michelle, is what can we do? And I'm going to tell you the best thing we can do is litigation, because what he is doing and what Elon Musk is doing, getting into people's records, is illegal. And the best way we can win in the courts is for people to tell us exactly what they've been telling me in my office, because I'm trying to call into those agencies that I've always had access to, and they're not allowed to talk to me. So, how we're getting the stories and how the attorneys who are filing litigation are able to do that is by people telling us what's going on. So people's voices are so critical in this. What are we doing as senators? We are collecting those stories. We are telling those stories. We are communicating to everybody, as we are right now on the floor of the Senate, about why this is illegal and why we will not tolerate this unelected guy, Elon Musk, to go into their records, why we are fighting back against these illegal actions and are going to speak up and be their voice and fight back.
Okay, and to be clear, Elon is not only not elected, but he wasn't even confirmed in the Senate, which is usually the case for cabinet members. So, can you explain the difference there? Because people are a little bit confused as to what's going on in Elon and his power with his
I
whatever
think
he's doing.
everybody should be confused about how the richest man in the world can go into the VA department and find out what their veterans benefit is and what their injury is, or how he can go in and find somebody's Medicare checks, or how he can know how much you are paying in your own tax receipts. He doesn't have any right to do that,
Mhm.
and it is illegal. And
Yes.
I'm asking, not only can he see that, which is frightening, but what is he messing up when he's in there? We're not Twitter. You can't just go in and mess around with a few young kids breaking code or whatever they're doing and expect everything to be okay on the other end. So I think about my mother, who had severe disabilities, who I remember saying to me, I am crawling to 65 to get my Medicare. What happens to someone like that who's waiting for that Medicare check, and oops, Elon and his little stooges messed up some record someplace, and all of a sudden they are impacted in a horrible way. So
Absolutely.
yeah, we are stopping this by getting court orders, but we also have to have people speak up and speak out, say what's happening to you, and we just have to have an outcry in this country. We cannot all sit back silent. I am excited. In our Democratic caucus, I know we have rules and regulations and word floor procedures, and it's all hard to understand. But I have never seen such passion in my career from my colleagues on the Democratic side to get this stopped and to make sure our country works for the people who need it the most.
Absolutely. The rumor is that it's 1,500 calls a minute are coming in to the Senate, and I heard that there was issues with the telephones. So, what should people do? Call, email? How would you prefer to hear from them that you
Yeah,
can
that's
utilize
a
the
really good
best?
question. And our calls are coming in. Some of them are robocalls, and so that it's difficult. But I think emailing us specific stories that we can use and give to attorneys is especially important.
Okay, absolutely. So, can you explain very quickly the power of the purse? I've done a couple of pieces on it, and people seem to be confused. If you could just break it down, since you're
Sure.
appropriations co-chair, vice chair, that
Yeah.
would be amazing.
I mean, it sounds like words on a page, but it is not.
Yes.
What this means is every one of you has the opportunity to vote for someone who represents you in the Senate and in the House. And in the Constitution, the people who wrote our Constitution, which is the basic law of America, said the power of the spending, the power of the purse, lands in the people that you elect directly in Congress. What the president can do is make sure that the agencies are allocating those funds. He can come to Congress and say, I disagree with some funds and lobby against it and change the law, but we actually allocate those funds. We do not give it over to the president, and the framers of the Constitution, that people like to say, did that on purpose. They didn't want a king. They didn't want one person who is in charge of every dime of taxpayer dollars and can turn around and say, well, if you don't support me, I'm going to cut off your funding, because Congress alone can do that. We didn't want a president who would decide who the winners and losers were in this country. We wanted voices that represent each of us to make those decisions. And it is frightening to me that this president and the people that he is putting in power actually say the words they don't believe in the Constitution. That is our democracy. That is how we function. That is how we have to continue to function. Otherwise, why should Congress even show up? We're going to have a king, a president, and we are not going to give him or anyone else that power. I'm just going to tell you that is a basic breaking of our country.
Absolutely. Senator Murray, you are known as being sort of calm, steady. To see you out there, me and many of my followers were like, okay, she's riled up. So if you're riled up, then we should be taking this very, very seriously. You have been in Congress a very long time, since the year of the woman. How is this different than just Republicans like W. Bush? Or if you could break it down just
Yeah,
shortly here.
I've been here a long time, and I've worked with Democratic presidents, and I have worked with Republican presidents. I have agreed with all of them on some things and disagreed a lot with them. But never have I seen a president come in and say he doesn't care about elected members of Congress. He's going to make the decisions on his own. That is breaking our democracy. That scares me. That scares me as a citizen of the United States. Look, let's not forget, this is the guy who sent his minions over to stop Congress from doing what we needed to do on January 6th for the peaceful transfer of power. Same guy now is trying to use unlawful ways to take your money and to use it to his own purposes. Now, I will be the first one to tell you, he doesn't have you in mind when he wants that money. He wants to bring all that money back that he is trying to freeze and not let you have access to, not be for your community projects, because they have a problem. They want to pass a tax cut for the billionaires in this country, for Elon Musk and his pals. And the only way to do that is to take your money back to Washington, D.C. to use it to do that. We are going to stop.
We are. Thank you so much, Senator Murray. We appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing. We are all out here rooting for you, and I'm going to spread the word. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Any
so
final
much.
words that you have, that would be great.
I care so much about my country. I have fought so long to do the right thing. I've had winning battles, I've had losing battles, but I'm not going to lose my country. I am not going to lose my democracy. And I'm so proud of everybody who's standing up and fighting back.
Thank you so much, Senator Murray.
Thank you.